Rarity Collection Volume 2 has the potential to be the greatest Yu-Gi-Oh set of all time. What's potion? You got Matt here, and welcome back to another competitive Yu-Gi-Oh video. Rarity Collection 2 is just about a month and a half away, and considering how good Rarity Collection 1 was and all the cards that have already been revealed for Rarity 2, this set could be the greatest Yu-Gi-Oh set of all time. So today I'm going to give you my full set list prediction for Rarity Collection 2, including what will be in this set, what won't be in this set, and the reason why for that as well. So if you're excited for the video and for Rarity Collection 2, then make sure to smash the like button. Also, if you like competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, including deck profiles, guides on how to beat the best decks, meta discussions, and videos just like this one, you're gonna love this channel, so make sure to subscribe. And before I go any further, I want to thank you all so much for helping us reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers. But with that being said, here's my prediction and wish list for Rarity Collection Volume 2. Let's jump into it. So when talking about Rarity Collection 2, or any set really, we have to be realistic. Konami is a business and they're trying to make a lot of money. Sure, they can bring us a set which has every single card being high value, a chase card, and a great card in the game today, but that's not going to be the case because they have to use those spots to sell other products. For example, if they only reprint the best of the best cards in the game today, then no one's going to go out there and buy something like the Megatins. What's the incentive for buying a Megatin if all the cards in it are already in Rarity Collection 2? I'm also going to heavily base my predictions on Rarity Collection 1 because it was so successful. The set itself had 79 cards, 25 of which were in the extra deck. It had 11 trap cards, 19 spell cards, and the rest were main deck monsters. I'm going to try to keep the ratio of monster, spells, and traps pretty similar to Rarity Collection 1 because that's what I believe Konami will do as well. But there is another factor. Rarity Collection 1 was an OCG product that was imported to the TCG, Maxi was taken out and just presented to us as is, compared to Rarity Collection 2, which is a brand new TCG created product. So for that reason, it could definitely have a much higher ceiling, but it could also have a much lower floor. We also know quite a bit about this set itself already. We know there are 79 cards in the set itself, and we already know 28 of those cards right now. But in Rarity Collection 1, we had a few cards like Nightmare Unicorn and Eldritch the Golden Lord, which were reprinted with the original art and the alt art. Now we have a couple of cards in Rarity 2 that are including their alt art, but we don't know if they're including the original art themselves. For example, we don't know if Droll, Ghost Ogre, Ghost Mourner, and Phantasme are only their alt art or both the alt art and the original. Also, it's not confirmed, but it's very likely that IP, Appaloosa, and Rescue Cat will only be available in their alt art based on the wording on the Yu-Gi-Oh website. Now here's the last thing before I go into my prediction. I'm going to break down each of these different cards into different categories to explain why they're actually being included in the set in my opinion. And this being a prediction video means I'm going to get some right. I'm also very likely going to get quite a few of them wrong, and that's okay. As long as I give you a reasoning why I believe each of these cards will be reprinted and that reasoning makes sense, that's all you can really ask for in these types of videos. With that out of the way, let's get started with our first category. Rarity 1 was so good because of all the easily accessible competitive staples, and Rarity Collection 2 already has a bunch revealed, but let's take it a step further, starting with Crossout Designator. So many decks are playing it today, not only for the mirror match, but also to counter the dozen or more hand traps in individual decks. It also only has 2 printings and hasn't seen one since the 2022 Megatins. Kurikara Div Incarnate. It may not be seeing a ton of play right now outside of fire decks because it's a level 1 fire monster that Snake Eye Ash can search out, but it's still incredibly powerful. It does have an OTS Ultimate Rare, which is a little interesting, but that didn't stop cards from being available in Rarity Collection 1. It's also possible it gets left out of the set because Power of the Elements is also in the Megatins, but I think the Megatins will focus more on archetype specific cards rather than individually powerful options. It's for the same reason that I believe Triple Tactics Thrust will get a reprint as well. The big chase card for Rarity Collection 1 was Pot of Prosperity, a barely accessible power spell that gave players who had it a massive advantage. Triple Tactic Thrust would be the equivalent. Kashtira Fenrir is another OTS Ultimate Rare. At least it was reprinted in the Megatins, but considering Fenrir is one of the most dominant cards of Yu-Gi-Oh's 25th anniversary year and a great staple card, I think it's very likely to be reprinted. I think Cynet Mining gets a reprint as well. Rarity 1 gave us multiple different Rotas, including the original reinforcement of the army and Fossil Dig. Cyber's archetypes have been pushed significantly, and there really aren't many other generic type-based Rotas in the game. Raigeki may not be the strongest card anymore, but a highly accessible, high-rarity printing of Raigeki is great for when it inevitably comes back to the format. kind of like how Lightning Storm was included in Rarity 1. Cosmic Cyclone is arguably the best back row removal that we've had in the game for the last 2 years or so. It already has a collector rare and an OTS ulti print, but that doesn't factor in much. Plus, I think Cosmic Cyclone would look amazing in any luxury rarity. Pot of Duality is the last missing relevant Pot of Greed retrain from Rarity Collection. We already got Desires, Extravagance, and Prosperity. Duality is just a missing piece. Dino Wrestler Pankratops is basically just Kashtira Fenrir at home. It's one of the best designed cards in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh in my opinion, and getting players an easy access to a higher rarity version of that is great. It's past its prime, but still very strong nonetheless. Snatch Steal is here for basically the same reason that Change of Heart was in Rarity 1. It's a card that was recently removed from the ban list, and as a card itself it doesn't have many printings, and while it is a good card, it's not going to be able to help sell a side set on its own. Herald of the Abyss should be reprinted in Rarity Collection 2, because even though Purely is definitely past its prime, considering there are 3 Purely cards in the set, giving players an accessible, easy way to beat it while being excellent at removing Towers monsters is also very strong. And the last card in this category is Skill Drain, the required floodgate in the set. We got Summon Limit in Rarity 1, and Skill Drain is just one of those few unlimited floodgates left. I also can't see them reprinting Gozen Match and not Rivalry of Warlords or vice versa. Skill Drain is a great standalone floodgate just like Summon Limit was. Moving on to our next category, we have generic extra deck cards. Starting off with Link Karibo. There haven't been many reprints for this card and it's in high demand right now. Considering it's also a Karibo clone, I think there's a bit of extra incentive to reprint it here. And it's basically a staple of most extra decks in this format. Underworld Goddess of the Closed World should also be reprinted. With only very few printings and a generic way to out almost any monster in the game, I think it's a prime candidate for a reprint. Accel Synchro Stardust Dragon is up next. So considering this card came out in a side set just like Barone originally did, I think it's very likely. The problem is, if we re-enter a format where Accel is super necessary, it could definitely become the highlight of a reprint set, but I do think it will end up in Rarity 2. Stardust Charge Warrior is a generic level 6 synchro that doesn't have very many printings, and they're both in Gold series. It's seeing some play right now, so having a non-gold printing would do a lot of good. Next up, we have 2 Super Poly targets with Garura, Wings of Resonant Life, and Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Both are Super Poly targets and have a great generic effect, but can't be played in every single deck. We got Mud Dragon of the Swamp and Dragostapelia in Rarity 1 as Super Poly targets, and I think we get these 2 in Rarity 2. Guardian Chimera is a very tough card to obtain right now. It's also a card that Konami should want to cash in on sooner rather than later, considering the deck it's best in right now are basically at their peak or trending out of the meta, and of course it's also in very high demand. Abyss Dweller may not be a crazy strong card, but it's a great card in Yu-Gi-Oh's history and arguably one of the best rank 4s of all time. Also, not every card in the set can be an absolute banger, but I don't think I'm alone when I say a luxury rare Abyss Dweller would be awesome. Utopia Double only has 1 printing back in Dual Power, and it's a pretty expensive card. It gives easy access to all rank 4 decks a big bump in power because they can now OTK easily out of nowhere. And the final card in this category is number 38, Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy, a generic rank 8 with some relation to the Galaxy cards. It also doesn't have a printing with a higher rarity than Ultra. Some of the most popular archetypes in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh are Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, and Heroes, and a lot of players want to see these cards in Rarity Collection 2. So for that reason, our next section is based on nostalgia cards. Destiny Hero Plasma, specifically the alt art version of the card, should be reprinted. Plasma is a very good option in hero decks that give them a chance to win many games, but the alt art is barely available. Elemental Hero Shadow Mist is one of the best cards in the hero strategy and has so few printings, including only 1 holo printing. Then we have Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. There are a few printings of this card, but none of them are easily accessible. Without Alternative, anyone that wants to play Blue Eyes will have a really tough time. The Dark Magicians is a great option to be reprinted. It has a few different printings, but they're all in Legendary Duelist sets, which haven't been the most popular among the player base. It's not mandatory to play in Dark Magician decks, but it's still a card that Dark Magician players would love to see. And finally, we have Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, another amazing option. It has fallen out of the meta quite a bit and wouldn't be the main card to help sell a side set anymore. I know it already has a Starlight rare printing, but we've seen that Konami doesn't really care about if there's a Starlight or not. QCRs are completely different to them. Our next category is for other archetype specific cards, starting with Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Infernos, Redox, Dragon Ruler of Boulders, Tempest, Dragon Ruler of Storms, and Tidal, Dragon Ruler of Waterfalls. In my opinion, all 4 of the Dragon Rulers will get reprinted. I think Tidal gets freed on the ban list prior to the release of Rarity 2. They may not be relevant in the game today, but they're a huge part of Yu-Gi-Oh's history, and I think Konami gives them some love by reprinting them in Rarity 2. I think Big Welcome Labyrinth gets a reprint in Rarity Collection 2. Basically, every other Labyrinth card has been reprinted already, and Welcome Labyrinth already has a QCR as well. If Konami includes Big Welcome Labyrinth into the set, it would make Labyrinth one of the best budget decks in Yu-Gi-Oh today. My concern with Big Welcome Labyrinth and by extension Triple Tactic Thrust is that both of them are in Photon Hypernova, which has been confirmed for the Megatons, so I guess we'll see what happens. Next up is Abyss Shark. Sharks are actually a pretty popular deck right now, and they really want Abyss Shark at 3 in their list, but it only has 1 printing from a side set. Shaddolls are a very popular archetype, and El Shaddol Construct is arguably the best one that isn't a Floodgate. It was also originally released in one of Yu-Gi-Oh's greatest sets of all time and has a really big place in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Invoked Mechaba should be on this list as well. I wanted to add an invoked card somewhere on this list, and I didn't feel it was worth giving Alistair or Invocation the spot, so Mechaba was the best fit in my opinion. It also has an alt art which I can see being reprinted in the set as well. Minerva the Exalted Lightsworn. Not only is this a great card for Lightsworn itself, but Lightsworn is getting support in Legacy of Destruction, so I can see this being the card in Rarity Collection 2 to give that archetype some love. Cyber Dragon Infinity is part of another really popular archetype, but also reprints a previously difficult to obtain card. Quarter Century Rare Cyber Dragon Infinity in either artwork would be great to pair with a QCR Cyber Dragon too. Ib the World Child's Justiciar was recently freed from the ban list, and it enables so many really crazy combos, but it's well past its prime. The same goes for Denglong First of the Yang Xing. Again, it's another card that was recently freed from the ban list and hasn't done very much. It also only has 1 printing from 8 years ago. Our next section is for old school formats. Thunder King Ryo is a great card in old school Yu-Gi-Oh! I wouldn't have included it on my list if we didn't already see Inspector Border included in Rarity 1. Ryo sees very fringe play today, but it's an amazing card for legacy formats, like Edison. It also hasn't been reprinted since 2014. Gren Maju da Aiza is a great card in older formats, but it also isn't absolutely awful in the current format today. Next up is Dimensional Prison. One of the most popular old school formats is Edison, which sees D-Prison as an absolute staple and one of the best cards in the format. I see D-Prison in Rarity 2 for the same reason I saw Compulsory Evacuation Device in Rarity 1. Icarus Attack is another card I think will get reprinted, and it's a very interesting reason. First off, this was the last card I actually added to my list. I wanted to incorporate something that has to do with Blackwings and old school formats, and this was the best I could come up with considering a lot of Blackwings were recently reprinted. But I'll be honest, I'm not super confident that Icarus Attack gets the reprint. And the last card in this section is Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosac. With the Dragon Rulers possibly being unbanned and reprinted, and Kashtira bringing back level 7s to the format, Dracosac being one of the best rank 7s of all time makes a lot of sense. And our final category today is going to be for miscellaneous cards. I could see none of these being reprinted, but I also think they have a really good shot. Starting off with Archfiend Eccentric. It's a solid card, nothing incredible, but it's one of the most fair and balanced and good pendulum monsters. Typhoon, not Mystical Space Typhoon, but regular Typhoon. This trap card almost has no printings and has actually seen some play lately. If Konami notices that, I wouldn't be shocked if it was reprinted. Next we have Threatening Roar, which is still a very old school card, but it's also nice for Tenpai Dragon format, which will be coming up soon. Mirror Force is another old school card, but a card that is so important to the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! A luxury rare Mirror Force would go absolutely crazy in this set. Power Tool Dragon should be included only because the other Signer Dragons already have QCRs, like Stardust, Black Rose, and Ancient Fairy Dragon. A lot of players love dragons, specifically Dragon Link, and one of the best cards for that strategy is Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. Considering Striker Dragon got reprinted, I wouldn't be surprised if Seals was reprinted as well, and I would personally be thrilled if it was. And our final card is Boral Sword Dragon, specifically the alt art. Rarity Collection 1 had a bunch of cards that weren't very relevant anymore, but still good, like Avermax for example. In my opinion, this would be just that. And that's it. Here are the 79 cards that I believe will be in Rarity Collection 2, the 28 that have been confirmed already, and the 51 new ones I just predicted. Now some of you might be asking why a few other options weren't considered for this list. So here's a rapid fire reason for why I'm not including a few cards that people really like. Starting off, we have the Extra Deck Charmers. I don't think they can justify 1 or even 2 Charmers. In my mind, it's all 6 or none. If they had to do 1 or 2, I'd choose Dark and Lina, since these are the 2 that are most connected. Divine Arsenal AA Zeus already has a QCR. If I did my job right, then nothing on this list has a QCR already. I know that IP has a QCR by the way, but that's for the original art, not for the alt art. Bistro Lubellion and Super Polymerization are for the same reason as Zeus. Both already have QCR printings, but honestly I wish they could be reprinted in this set. Harpy's Feather Duster and Chaos Angel both recently got ultimate rares in the newest OTS pack, which will still be available at Rarity 2's release, but I can see Chaos Angel in the Megatins. SP Little Knight and Superstar Slayer Typhon. I know everyone wants these cards to be reprinted, and I think it would be great if they were. But Age of Overlord is too new, and it's already confirmed for the Megatins, which will also have QCRs. It doesn't make any sense for Konami to reprint them just yet. And lastly is Trident Dragion, a very mandatory piece of the Tenpai Dragon strategy that hasn't been reprinted in over 10 years and right now is sitting at over $60. I think it'll be reprinted eventually, but most likely in the OTS pack after Rarity Collection 2. Now with all that said, if any of the cards I just mentioned did get reprinted in Rarity 2, I would be very happy. I wanted to find a spot for them, but I just couldn't justify it. And that's gonna wrap it up for this video. If you have any wish lists or predictions for Rarity Collection 2, let me know down in the comments, as well as if you agree or disagree with my list and why. Since you made it this far in the video, you must have enjoyed it, so make sure to smash the like button, and of course subscribe to the channel for more amazing competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. And again, thank you all so much for helping us reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers. I can say that when I first started making videos a year ago, I did not ever expect to reach 10,000 subs so quickly. So thank you all so much, but we're just getting started. And as always, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time.